Today we are going to cover chapter 2, that is Rise of Autonomous States. In this we will see first the introduction. After the decline of Mughal Empire, we saw that the second major theme of the 18th century was the rise of autonomous states, because the regional states or the states which were in the Mughal rule, they had now revolted and had made an independent states that were called as the rise of autonomous states. From the debris of Mughal Empire arose a large number of autonomous and semi-autonomous states from which British had to overcome before emergence of a supreme in India. In 1761, we see that mainly in 1761, we see that the Mughal Empire was only in name, but its weakness had enabled regional powers to assert their independence, because as the Mughal Empire became weak, the regional powers started gaining strength and they started asserting their independence. Now what happened that in the 18th century there was a representation of transformation rather than collapse of the polity. It was not that the Mughal Empire had collapsed, but there was a transformation from one rule to another rule, and it signified a decentralization of power and not a power of vacuum or a political chaos, as it is said by the Britishers that it was a totally political chaos or power of vacuum, and we came and we fulfilled that vacuum, but it was not so. It was a progressive society that time. Broadly, three kinds of state arose in the autonomous states when we study. First was the successor state. In the successor states, we see that there are three states, that are Hyderabad, Karnataka, Bengal and Awadh. Three states were called as in successor states. They were erstwhile province of Mughal Empire. They had they broke away across as a result of assertion of autonomous by governors of Mughal province. They were Hyderabad, Karnataka, Bengal and Awadh. Now after that, let's start with Hyderabad, but first we will discuss about all the three states in short. So as we have seen that first was the successor state, second was the new state. New states included Marathas, Sikhs, Jats and Afghans. They were rebellious states. They rebelled and then they protested and they formed their states. They were Marathas, Sikhs, Jats and Afghans. And the third type of state was the independent states. They were rebellions against Delhi. They had been only nominal a part of a Mughal empire. They were never a no completely a part of a Mughal empire. They were always a partial or a nominal part of a Mughal empire only, and they had now separated from themselves. The states included Mysore, Kerala and the Rajputs. As we have seen that there were three types of states now: successor state, new state and independent state. So let's start first with the successor state, and the first state which we are going to cover is the Hyderabad. The Hyderabad state was founded by Nizam ul Mulk Asaf Jahan in 1724 and he ruled up to 48. As it was founded by Nizam ul Mulk Asaf Jahan in 1724, but he was a very powerful noble and he was from a Turani group. As we have seen that there were two types of groups, three types of groups: Shia group, Sunni group, Turani group, Afghan group. So he belonged to Turani group at the imperial court. Kumaruddin Siddiqui, he also known by his title Chin Kulich Khan. So Nizamul Mulk is also known by what title? Chin Kulich Khan. And he was awarded as by Emperor Aurangzeb in 1690 to 91. Nizamul Mulk. This is Chin Kulich Khan who gave this title. This title was given by Aurangzeb, whereas Nizamul Mulk title was given by Farooq Siyar, and Asaf Jahan was awarded by Muhammad Shah. So different names are given to a ruler at that time. It was not that your name is let's take Ria, so it will be Ria only. It was not so, as Raja was added in the Ram Mohan Roy, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. In the same way, Nizamul Mulk got many names. His name was Nizamul Mulk Asaf Jahan, but Chin Kulich Khan, he was awarded by the title and it was given by Aurangzeb, whereas Nizamul Mulk was given by Farooq Siyar and Asaf Jahan title was given by Muhammad Shah. As a viceroy of a Deccan, he was first a viceroy of Deccan in 1713 to 22. During the Mughal days, the Shubedar of the Deccan was appointed at Hyderabad. The idea of an independent state in Deccan was first conceived by Zulfikar Khan, who had obtained the viceroyalty of the Deccan in 1708. After his death in 1713, Kulich Khan became the Deccan viceroy upon insistence of Farrukhsiyar, who conferred upon him the title of Nizamul Mulk. So what happened that the first Subedar, or you can say the first Deccan viceroy who used to see to the Deccan region was Zulfikar Khan. But after the death of Zulfikar Khan, who became the viceroy of the Deccan? Kulich Khan became the viceroy of the Deccan. But he was not ready to become. But after the insistence of Farrukhsiyar, he agreed to it and he became the viceroy of the Deccan, who conferred upon him the title Nizamul Mulk. Farrukhsiyar was the one who had given the title Nizamul Mulk to the Chin Kulich Khan or Nizamul Mulk. At the Viceroy Deccan, he recognized the administration and streamlined the revenue system. So Nizamul Mulk was a very efficient ruler. He did many progressive things towards the administration, even streamlined the revenue system. Later we see that Farrukhsiyar called upon Nizamul Mulk to fight off the Sayyid brothers, leaders of the Hindustani group. However, Sayyid proved to be too clever for Emperor Farrukhsiyar, who was soon blinded and killed. So in the reign of Farrukhsiyar came to power with the help of Sayyid brothers. Now Sayyid brothers was too much dominating, so they wanted that what they take decisions, Farrukhsiyar should act upon that only. It should not be his independent decisions. But Farrukhsiyar did not want that, and he wanted to get rid of the Sayyid brothers. So he planned a murder, but it acted against him only as Sayyid brothers came to know about it. And Farrukhsiyar did, what Sayyid brothers did, that they blinded him and they killed him. But that time Farrukhsiyar had asked for the help of Nizamul Mulk to kill Sayyid brothers. Now what happened? With the help of Peshwa Balaji Vishwanathan, they had killed Farrukhsiyar. But in 1720 we see that Nizamul Mulk successfully assisted Muhammad Shah, and with the help of a group they killed Sayyid brothers now. So Nizamul Mulk was successful in killing Sayyid brothers with the help of Muhammad Shah. He was then rewarded as the post of Wazir in the court of Muhammad Shah. His rank had now increased from a viceroy of Deccan to a Wazir. As viceroy of Mughal Empire in 1722 to 1724, as a Wazir, he tried to reform a corrupt Mughal administration and earned many enemies for himself, who successfully poisoned the minds of emperor against him, because his administrative work was very good and it was very appeasing to the people. But they were, as you do the work good, you will get your friend and foes and enemies both. So he also got many enemies, he built many enemies for himself, and they poisoned the minds of Muhammad Shah against the Wazir, who was Nizamul Mulk, that he is not a good ruler, he is doing against you, he wants to become a king, ruler, this, that. Then what happened? Nizamul Mulk was very frustrated with this court politics, and he decided to establish a independent state that was called as a Hyderabad state in 1724. And like this, the formation of Hyderabad state began. Disgusted with the fickle mindedness and suspicious nature of the emperor, Nizamul Mulk decided to pursue his own ambition. And then he decided to leave the emperor and his empire to fade the marched south and found the state of Hyderabad in the Deccan. His departure was symbolic to the fight of loyalty and virtue for the emperor. The physical breakup of Mughal empire had now begun. As Nizamul Mulk left Farrukhsiyar, as he was the Wazir and he was a very good administrator, but now he has left because of the court politics. And no, Farrukhsiyar also used to always do, he was very fickle minded people, and he was very suspicious nature, so he always used to have suspicion against him. So these things was not liked by Nizamul Mulk. Then he left Mughal state, and then he marched up to south, and in Deccan he founded the state Hyderabad. This was a symbolic representation of loyalty and virtue from the empire. In 1724, we see that Nizam ul Mulk resigned from his post to set off Deccan, only to find the Mabriz Khan, and then the viceroy of the Deccan, refused to vacate his post. Nizam ul Mulk defeated and killed Mabriz in the Battle of Shakad Khera in October 1724. As Nizam ul Mulk resigned from the post, then he went to Deccan. Now, in the Deccan, there was a viceroy of the Deccan was who? Mabriz Khan. And Mabriz Khan said that no, I'm not going to vacate this position. Then Nizam ul Mulk raised a war against him, and Nizam ul Mulk was successful, and he defeated Mabriz Khan and in the Battle of Shakad Khera, which was in 1724 in October. Now the emperor then bestowed upon him the title of Asaf Jahan. Asaf Jahan never openly declared his independence, but in practice he acted like an independent ruler and founded the Asaf Jahan dynasty. Asaf Jahan is the one person same whose name was Nizam ul Mulk also, so don't get confused in this. So now he founded a independent ruler, he became an independent ruler and founded the Asaf Jahan dynasty. His successors came to be known as Nizams of Hyderabad, who came after Nizam ul Mulk. They were known as the Nizams of Hyderabad. He conducted many wars, signed treaties, and conferred mansabs and made important appointments without reference to any emperor. At the same time, Nizam posed the defenders of Mughal Empire on several occasions. For instance, in the Battle of Karnar, the Nizam accompanied the emperor to fight against the Nadir Shah, because Nadir Shah has done many foreign invasions, and it was very important decisions to have a nationalistic feeling and feeling of patriotism for your state. So he was having that, and that's why he helped also Mughal empire to fight against the Nadir Shah, and he accompanied them in Battle of Karnal, which happened in 1739. Now Nizam was a very wise statesman and benevolent ruler, and he was a very good administrator. He reformed the revenue system, he substituted the powers of zamindar, and followed a very tolerant policy towards the Hindus. He was not an anti-Hindu, like we see that Aurangzeb did not like Hindu, but it was not like he was very tolerant towards the Hindus also. He also clearly diverted Maratha's energy by suggesting to the Peshwa the possibility of Maratha expansion in the north, and suggesting readily accepted by Bajirao I. War of Succession happened in 1748. After the death of Nizam ul Mulk Asaf Jahan, in 1748, a bloody war of succession happened, followed between the Nasir Jung, who was the grandson of him, and Muzaffar Jung. So they both had a very his son Nasir Jung and grandson Muzaffar Jung. So they both fought among themselves for gaining the power. Taking advantage of political crisis, Marathas, Mysore and Carnatic all settled their core positions against Hyderabad. Now the Maratha invaded the state at the will and collected Ch-2. The French ruler Dupleix also used this opportunity to play off one of the group against the other, and supported Muzaffar Jung in return for an handsome monetary and territorial rewards. So what happened that Britishers had came to India for just trade, but eventually they wanted to do court politics. They started entering into the court politics. So what they were doing, as there was a fight between Nasir Jung, who was the son of Nizam ul Mulk, and Muzaffar Jung, who was the grandson of Nizam ul Mulk. So what Britishers did, that Britishers supported Nasir Jung and French supported Muzaffar Jung. So French were very had established a toehold in the region also. So they won, French won, and because Muzaffar had promised that they will give them trading privileges, so slowly what happened that in later lectures we will see that it led to subsidiary alliances also. They were forced to do subsidiary alliances. So these things we will cover in the further videos. But here the main thing is that now after the death of Nizam ul Mulk, there was a fight between the two, Nasir Jung, Muzaffar Jung, and because the people saw that there was an unstable government, so other state like the Awadh, Carnatic, Mysore, they took advantage of this and they started settling in the Hyderabad. And Maratha even invaded and collected Ch-2 from the Hyderabad region, and French duplex was there, so he also saw that it is a very good opportunity to play off. So he supported Muzaffar Jung in return of an handsome monetary, means money, and territorial rewards, means you will give me land so that I can establish my factory. Like this, we see that Hyderabad state had formed. Then we see that the Carnatic state. How does the Carnatic state had formed? So the Carnatic state was founded by Nawab Satadullah Khan in 1710, and he ruled till 1732. And Dostali also, who ruled from 1732 to 1714, after the death of Satadullah Khan, who ruled Dostali. So what happened that in the 18th century we saw that the Mughal Suba or the province of Carnatic came under the authority of Governor of Deccan, Nizam of Hyderabad. But just in a practice of Governor of Deccan had freed himself from the control of the Mughal Empire, because they were very frustrated, and as there was a decline of Mughal Empire, they got an opportunity to free themselves. The deputy governor of the Nawab of Carnatic had also established his independent authority. According to Nawab Satadullah Khan of Carnatic, headquarter at Arcot appointed his nephew Dost Ali as his successor. So Satadullah Khan, what he did, that he appointed his nephew Dost Ali as his successor, and he had even established a headquarter at Arcot, and there only he appointed his nephew Dost Ali without the prior approval of his superior Nizam ul Mulk, because Nizam was the one, but without his prior approval he had appointed these things and done these things. However, in 1740 we see that Maratha had invaded the Carnatic region and killed Nawab Dost Ali and took his son-in-law Chanda Sahib as the prisoners to Satara. That was a very bad thing which happened with Carnatic, because after the death of Nawab Satadullah Khan, he appointed Dost Ali, and Dost Ali was killed by the Marathas, and his son was captured. The son name was son-in-law. So son-in-law was captured. He was kidnapped, and his son was Chanda Sahib, and he was sent to Satara in the prison. Therefore, the affairs of Carnatic deteriorated, and the province got an opportunity to the European trading companies to directly interfere in the Indian politics, because there was not the feeling of nationalism, and they were fighting among themselves, and Europeans were taking advantage of this, and again they took the advantage of this, and nearly 20 years we see that from 1744 to 1766 there was a fight between English and French. There was an embroiled bitter war of succession in South India between them, a sense of conflict popularly known as the Carnatic Wars from 1746 to 1763. And this, the war of Carnatic Wars, we are going to study in further videos very nicely, because in this we have to mainly cover that how the autonomous state has rise. So this was the reason that they had rise like this, and after the death these things happen, and European trading companies has also come, and French, so they now were fighting that who will establish their toehold in this region. So we are done with Hyderabad and Carnatic, and in the next lecture we will cover Bengal. So Bengal and Awadh we will cover in the further lectures. Thank you everyone. Please like, share and subscribe my channel.